Okay, welcome back. So let's visit now the system folder and then we launch the simulation. So here, let's open this dictionaries. Okay, let's talk about this. So the compose part for the decomposition, nothing to add here. The only thing that that I want to remind you that in my case I'm running with 8 cores, so remember to change this keyword here. This will automatically update this one to whatever processors that you are doing, and they are using this coach method. If you want to use something else, it's up to you. I think well, this is the most efficient one, or this is to use. The other dictionary that we have here is fvConstraints. So this is very interesting because we apply some constraints, physical constraints, to avoid unphysical values. So it's not nothing in the sense mathematical or physical that it will solve some balance equations, conservation equations. You are just telling here, okay, limit the pressure to these values, mean factor, mass factor, so it cannot oscillate more than these values later in the lecture of compressor. We're going to see what is happening here, but also you can define your actual maximum, minimum values, and also with the temperature. So many times you have seen that it can happen that at the beginning it will oscillate, give you very high or very low values. So basically this is what we're doing, okay? And in theory you could do something similar with all the scalars, even velocity, to avoid that. So this is, as I mentioned, not physical, but from the stability point of view can help you a lot, especially at the beginning. But however, if you're running and after 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 iterations, or if you're doing it or running on a steady, you see that you are hitting a lot these values, or not a lot, and also a lot of cells, because it might happen that you reach this value in one cell, it's not a problem, or in a few cells. But if you see that you hit this value a lot and in many cells, it might be better to check your mesh numerics to adjust something, okay? But it's not a big of a deal. So now we move to controlDict. So here we give runtime parameters. So we're using this specific model. So remember that all that stuff, pimple salt, pimple foam, piece of foam, raw simple foam, whatever, disappear. Now everything has been declined into the models. Okay, so we have this model, the fluid, which will be the compressible one. And actually remember that you have the documentation, which I want to start. It's quite good, very good. You have everything here, so you are not going to get lost. I'll see here solver models, and look at that. We're using this specific one. So if you want to do this exactly the same case in compressible, you get it here. And remember, in compressible cases, you solve the pressure divided by density. So be careful with units. And then, well, we're going to run 4,000 seconds. This is nothing to say here. Start from here. This is my write control. I like to save binary, okay? Even this case is small, okay? The mesh is small. I like to use binary. Also, when you're parsing data, post-processing tends to be faster, and the data set now is smaller. Remember to increase the precision. At least I like to use 8, but it's almost becoming a standard practice for me to put 10 here. Okay, don't put 6. That if you look at the OpenFOAM tutorials, they use a lot this one. It can give you problems, and probably if you go to the lectures on that we have on the finite volume method, you will see why I don't recommend that. Then we go to function objects. So a whole bunch of function objects. So for me, it's almost here. A signature that in every case I put this one, minimum and maximum values, because while the simulation is running, I like to monitor continuously if I'm getting physically realistic values. So this is the way I do it. So if you start to see that your pressure or T or rho start to become realistic, you can, well, adjust something in the simulation or stop the simulation and try to improve mesh, whatever, okay? Something similar with fvConstraint. So this one will limit the value there into this minimum and maximum. Here is only reporting, okay? So if you disable this, it will report, and maybe if your temperature goes to 1 million, it will report that because you don't have that actual minimum here. We keep reading, we put here additional fields. So from the fields that you have, compute raw, so remember equation step, and you compute that. So this is a function object, so there are many things that you can compute. For instance, you switch to viscous, you can get your mu, okay, dynamic, viscosity. These are the forces, so computing forces on the aircraft. So you have here fuselage, everything. Okay, you put all the regions. Give the reference pressure, very important, give this one, okay? Then the force coefficients, we have it here. And to mention something, that these coefficients, remember that we talk about now these forces are parallel perpendicular now to the incoming flow. So this needs to be corrected. I didn't correct this, okay? But in any case, doesn't matter. We're going to use it just as indication. Remember, this is not a proper validation case. Then intake, I'm measuring here the mass flow. Okay, so this is the way how it's done. Then in OpenFOAM 13, previous version, you put here like select patch, then the name of the patch was named whatever. Now it's here. It's probably arguably easier, who knows? But I find it easier than in the previous cases. Same for exhaust. Okay, then I compute the imbalance. So remember, method is conservative. So whatever is going in all your bond that is on, you're going to have inlet outlets. It needs to be close to zero. Okay. However, be careful. We're going to run a steady, okay, and then local time stepping. So a steady and a steady, is violating many physical principles because you're not putting time. So these values, the imbalance might be high, so you need some good judgment, but they might be a little bit high, okay? Then Q criterion to visualize the nice vortices. So we visualize that a lot in the when we address the post-processing tutorials, then also save Mach number. So here put and actually these are the most common function objects I use. I didn't put here Y plus because we don't have Y plus, but when we move in the viscous, those two will be the additional one and probably the statistics, okay? When you have on a steady, I recommend to compute the unsteady statistics. So this is our controlDict dictionary. Feel free to change it if you want. Now we move to fvSchemes. So what you see here is my standard numeric. So I put a lot of comments here, a lot of stuff. So here, well, steady state. Here you're just declaring this variable and then use this method, and then this name you can use it somewhere else, so like this. So everything is commented. So in theory you can comment everything, but what I'm doing here, I'm using this method for all the grading. So remember, you in your governing equation, so in the lectures on the FV specific, now that we are embedding with this CSV cookie, we talk about that. But all the gradients that you can have here, and actually these are the gradients that you have here. You have a gradient for U, P, energy, EKP also, this is energy, the kinetic energy, omega K's, you have those, you have T and whatever. So every gradient solved like this, or you can do it in a selective way, okay? Then you move to divergence, okay? So divergence, we use this method, so you have different options. And to mention, coming back to gradients, here you have a more advanced method, so this is a quite nice method. So we're going to talk about that in the specific final volume lecture. So divergence, so this is what I recommend, second order linear Wien, but if you want to go something more elaborated, fancier, you can go min-mod, Van Leer. There are many of them implemented in OpenFOAM, it's up to you. So probably also can create a little bit confusion, but honestly, what you need to know, linear Wien, it is okay. If you need something better, choose a good TBD, one or two. Min-mod, it is a fantastic. Then probably the other can be the Van Leer, it's up to you. And you have super B, most of the stuff like that, but it will be up to you for the time being. I'm going to run with this case. It is up to you to choose something different. So this we're not using here, so I leave it there, copy paste for the viscous case, but we don't need it. And then we go to the energy equation. So we have the energy equation here, energy 1, 2, 3. So these are declare the variables and then just change the number here to use different variables. So later now we talk about that. Now, so here we're using the enthalpy formulation. These are the variables that we're solving and use this method. Okay, so linear Wien, which is okay. Limited E, it will use the default this, or if you don't declare this one will use the default. And if you miss something, will give you an error. So we're using this. Then Laplacian schemes, I recommend you always use limited 0.5. Okay, if your mesh is an industrial one, if you have something perfect orthogonal, put here 1, but this one it will cover all those cases. So this and this here linear, and this is related to viscous method, so we don't need it. You can erase it if you want. And this is it now for our numeric. So I want to mention something that here, when it comes to state simulation, you can use the bounded keyword. And let me show you what that bounded keyword is doing. So actually, let me go here and let me see. I can go CFD direct.com and okay, CFD direct. Okay, actually it was already there. Oh yeah. So let me see, where do we have news? There are some related, or probably will be OpenFOAM.com, OpenFOAM.org. Okay, OpenFOAM.org and computation of the so resources, resources, technical guide. Okay, technical guidelines, I think is the one. And let's see what we have here. So there's energy. Okay, I was talking about the energy equation. So here you have some comments about the energy equation, but later we're going to address a little bit on that. But then we have water gas, should be somewhere here, that bounded OpenFOAM articles, getting learning non-console molar solvers. So a little bit molar solvers. And well, let me go and search OpenFOAM bounded steady skin. Okay, so we have the okay, we have it here, and basically bounded is doing this. Now I'm not going into details, also we'll address a little bit this in the FDN. So you have here the link, so follow there. But there is something that you use usually for steady cases. Okay, it is not compulsory. I have to mention something about that in my personal experience, when it works, it will help you to accelerate the convergence, to reduce all errors and so on. So when it works. But when it doesn't work, it will slow down your convergence, it will diverge. And this is the case where it doesn't help you. So I remove it. But if you want, feel free to add it. But usually you will have that problem in compressible cases. It doesn't help much. So here I put some comments. Now bounded for steady tends to be more unstable for compressible. This specific case, you put bounded, it diverges. It will be really slow, the convergence, and eventually diverge. So if you go like this, you will see that it diverges. But if you switch to incompressible, you will see that it will work and it will accelerate a little bit. So later we're going to do some details about that. But personally speaking, I don't put it, okay? If I'm working with compressible, incompressible, yeah, I tend to put it, but it's not like it's going to be the big difference. The same happens with turbulence and any other variable. You will have the option, and with pressure also you will have the same option. However, also for this related is the viscous term, not related. You don't need an Euler, but here you need to put bounded as you go viscous. And this one also, I usually don't use it in energy equation, okay? But if you want to use it, do not put it in this term, okay? This is a term related now to the, let's say, hyperbolic correction of your pressure proportional equation for the transonic case. Okay, so don't put it there. So this is the numerics. So this is a very standard numerics that you can take it as your template for any case. Okay, so then you specialize it a little bit according to the mesh quality, or if it is compressible, incompressible, steady, unsteady. As I mentioned, bounded is just limited to steady cases. Then you move to fvSolution. These are the linear solvers, crunch number, pretty much in a standard case. I cannot say anything which solver is better, PVCGstat or multigrid. In theory, multigrid should be better, but there is nothing written. Sometimes this one performs better, sometimes this one performs better, so it's up to you. When it comes to the tolerances, this is kind of a standard practices, okay? So put this value, but it is kind of trial and error, okay? Later now in the theory, we'll address a little bit more this value. So this is specific actually here for a steady. On a steady, there are some extra terms, but pretty much it's based in standard practices. So you have them for velocity, energy, and raw density. Okay, remember the equation state, so it basically is back substitution, is that diagonal is okay. Then simple, this is the method that we're using, pressure velocity coupling, so we use this formulation. I always recommend to use this formulation, and also in this case, even if it is not transonic, I use this correction, okay, the transonic, yes. So up to you. You can rerun the case and put here no, and actually I think it's not going to run well, because remember you have that high temperature at the exhaust, so probably some effects there, but it's up to you. I enable here, okay, and then according to mesh quality, now I put this in outer correctors tree, and that's all. Finally, okay, well, that's not all. Finally, relaxation factors. So steady solvers, they are controlled using on the relaxation factors. Okay, instead you move to on a steady, you define your physical time step, and that's how you move, do your iterative margin. Here you change this value. So here is also a standard practice. Every variable, if you are using let's say consistent, these values are okay. 0.7, 0.7. If you are using the simple standard, that is put no here, you need to change. So this one, so you will need to define explicit, implicit on the relaxation. So fields they are explicit, these are implicit, because the whole equation. So usually here is P, here you put U. Okay, so that's it. So there is nothing written, there is problem dependent, but usually with the consistent formulation 00, 07, 07 and both for all variables, it works well. But to stress that there is nothing written about that this should be always the value. So requiring your case on trial and error. And I have to mention that many times I see people running steady simulations and they don't get convergence, or they have a lot of convergence problems. It's because of the relaxation. You need to adjust these values. You need to change it according to your case. And usually, this is the problem for a steady simulations. To remind you, steady simulation, this one is it is a big simplification of the reality. It's a numerical trick that we use in CFD, and we are violating a lot of principles. But when it works, when you know how to control the iterative margin, using on the relaxation, good numerics in the space and so on, it can reach convergence very fast, like in 300, 400, 500 iterations. Instead, if you go on the steady, you need to let it run on time, and that can take a lot of resources, a lot of your time, and so on. So this is a numerical trick, okay? So in this case, it happens that it works. But if you go and run the classical cylinder with the von Karman wake vortex separation, it's not going to work, because you don't have a steady state. Okay, so this is it. This is we visit here all the dictionaries. So the other cases, fvSolutions, well, it will be, they are different, but small differences. Like here, instead of using fvSchemes steady, you use on a steady or LTS, but all the space discretization will be the same. Small differences here will be just the time step. fvSolution also small differences, because we need to add another iterative loop. Okay, here we're using simple, then we switch to pimple. So this is it now for these dictionaries, and at this point let's move to the simulation. Let's run the case, and I will launch that the simulation in the next video, because I will let it run the 4,000 iterations. That is something that takes some time. So I wouldn't want to start from scratch. So here I already have the logs file, and if you look here now, everything is running, it's smooth. Look at that, you have all your values, and this is why I like to put all those function objects that you see here, that I have a lot of information besides the information of the iterative convergence, okay, which is not a clear indication that you are convergent or no. I'm monitoring minimum and maximums, forces, mass flow, the whole problem. So look at that, I mentioned that the method is conservative. So what is going on in should be also going out, but here there are some imbalances, and kind of it's not perfectly, but I can digest here. I'm happy with that. And then when you compare with the on a steady, you will see that you get similar values, okay? And this is it, okay? So let's move to the next video and launch the simulation. See you next time, bye.